Hey, good morning, everybody, and welcome to today's session. Thank you for joining us for our webinar. Today we're going to be talking about digital publishing for associations. This webinar is really designed to provide association contacts like yourself with a good overview of digital publishing. And we're going to look at things like the state of the market, some of the key benefits for publishing online, some of the options that you have in terms of strategy and technology, and we're going to cover how to get started with your digital publication strategy. Today our presenter is Jason McDonald. Jason is our product manager with our Reach e-publishing solutions here at INM. And he's got a very strong background in print media combined with experience in multimedia development. This makes him a great partner for content publishers that are coming online with their publications, and he's a great resource to tap if you've got questions about digital publishing. My name is Andrea Simmons, and I'm the marketing director here at INM. I'm going to be your secret host today in the background, so I'll be keeping an eye on the chat window and looking at any of the technical logistics while Jason's doing his presentation. So if you do have any concerns or questions or anything that you want to discuss with me, on your panel on the right-hand side of your screen, you're going to see a chat window. Feel free to type in any comments there if there's any issue with the audio at any point, if you have anything like that. We are going to have some time at the end of the session as well for a question and answer period. So we won't be addressing questions directly within the presentation, but if anything comes up, just type it into the questions box there and we'll keep the queue in line, and then at the end of the session we'll be able to cover those. We are recording the session today, so as part of our follow-up we'll let you know how to access that. So if you wanted to pass it along to any of your colleagues or to review it again later, that will be available to you. I think we're all ready to go and we're ready to start. So Jason, over to you.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks very much for joining us. Before we get started, I just wanted to briefly cover our agenda and tell you what direction we're going in. To start things off, we just want to discuss really the state of the market, where things are at, and what some of the feedback is that we're receiving from the industry, as well as going into an overview on your digital publishing strategy, the benefits, how to get started with it, and then we'll wrap things up with a little bit about ourselves and some next steps for yourself. Prior to getting started, I was hoping to just finish off with one other little item, which is just getting a quick audience poll to see who everybody is and what area they're coming from. Perfect. Thank you very much. Like many industries, associations find themselves at a crossroads. Nearly all associations are publishing a periodical today at around 91%. 54% of those associations are actually publishing 5 or more titles. A bit of a concern is that in recent years, ad pages in trade magazines is starting to decline at roughly around 28.6% as compared to 2008. As ad revenues slip, associations are going to look for a way to replace this and start recouping that lost revenue in different manners. Obviously, digital publishing is an ideal way to go about doing this. It opens up new revenue streams as well as allows you to leverage existing content that allows you to very quickly take that content and generate new revenues off of it. On a good side, despite ad revenues have in decline, publishers are actually seeing a huge increase in their publication revenues. Roughly in the since 2008, there's been an overall increase of about 5 to 9%. This is mostly attributed to the investment into their publishing strategy, of which a big chunk is aimed at directly targeting a digital market. while there's been about a difference between 2009 and 2010 of 3% increase, they're expecting much larger increments for the 2011. With the recent surge of smartphones and tablets, mobile content delivery is an essential part of any association's publishing strategy. According to the Audit Bureau of Circulation, 65% of respondents believe that digital delivery via mobile apps is an important part of their strategic future. And a repo from the mobile ad network Millennium Medium finds that 31% of publishers expect their mobile applications to increase 100% or more in the next year. In general, today we're going to be really focusing on digital publishing and how it's going to affect an association. Typically, and in most situations, organizations view digital publishing as a silo or just another division that they can add on to their company. The reality is that to really provide value back to your organization and your readers, your digital publishing strategy is going to have to affect all aspects of your business. Obviously you'd be taking this into account into your business case and your business model. In the same way, you want to take this into account when building the content, generating it, the process and tools that and the technologies that you're going to leverage to make sure that it's really a part of your organization and it grows with it. There's a number of reasons and advantages of why you would go with a digital publishing strategy. I found it quite surprising myself, but the statistics are clear that the number one reason that people want to go with a digital publishing strategy is environmental. Most of the people that have actually answered any surveys to this say that the number one reason that they're doing it is just to save paper. Every year there are 12 billion magazine issues printed, of which 70 of these issues are never sold, resulting in 35 million trees being cut down each year to produce magazines that are never actually read by anybody. The next is better membership engagement. By leveraging a digital publishing platform, there's faster access to content, and it's been proven that readers of digital editions are more engaged. They read issues more often, they spend more time with each publication, and they'll act on more items within the content, whether it be ads, hyperlinks, and so forth. For print publications offering a digital edition, number of reader engagement shows approximately 12 minutes more engagement for a digital edition than that of print magazines. A prime example of this is GQ magazine sees on average of 71 minutes of engagement from its print magazine, whereas their digital edition is around 83 minutes. The next big factor is cost savings. Printing a magazine normally has a margin of around 35%, whereas digital editions have a return of about 60 to 70%. The average cost of printing a magazine is around $1 an issue, including paper, print, postage, and so forth. Whereas a digital edition, depending on the platform you use in your process, you're looking at about 25 cents an issue. As well, it opens up and provides new opportunities to leverage assets that you already own to develop new revenue channels. This may be selling individual access to back issues or even packaging content into a digital library. New advertising opportunities also generate this. By publishing digitally, you have a whole new type of ad that you can provide to your users. You can create interactive advertisement that contain audio and video that allow the ability to leverage digital assets and track conversion. Additionally, a big advantage is that you can actually track the performance of those ads to justify your rate card back to to your advertiser, showing them a direct return on their ad versus what's usually done in print where there's estimations involved. And finally, the next big item is new markets. Obviously, it'll be easier to get your publications out to international markets, avoiding shipping delays. International members can access your content as soon as it's available and allows you to test new markets and with lower upfront costs. Most of us already understand the market and the benefits of going with digital. However, print is roughly about 500 years old, while digital has only really been around the last decade and is still a very immature form of communication in comparison to print. As a result, there are a lot of options and opinions, and people are still trying to figure out exactly how to go about doing this. As a result of all the options, it's difficult to figure out where to get started. Typically, most people get tied up in looking at the technology and trying to see how it fits their organization. Our approach is a little bit different in that we think that you should determine the highest business value for your organization. But to do this, it's really quite simple. You just step back and look at your association with a fresh set of eyes. Determine what value is going to be returned to both your organization and your readers, and then look for the technology that fits those needs. Over the next few slides, I'm going to just talk about how to look at your company and how you want to address it. The first and the most important characteristic that you want to look at is your audience. If you don't provide value to these people, there's really not much point in going out to anybody else. To really understand your user, you want to know who they are, how they engage with your content, why and where they're accessing these materials, and how they're willing to adopt or pay for it. By looking and analyzing your various users, you'll be able to figure this out quite easily, and all of this will allow you to start looking at a number of different elements. When you're looking at your users, there's a number of influencing factors that you really have to keep in mind. It's kind of looking at things very iteratively and kind of jumping around at a few different topics that will clarify the picture for you. The first influencing factor that you're going to want to keep in mind is your content. With your content, what is the highest business value? What's going to give you the biggest return, and what do you want to deliver? By looking at your content, you may have a variety of content around your office or organization in terms of blogs, podcasts, publications, white papers, journal articles. There are several different ways that you can leverage these, and you have to look at them in response to your audience and say, really, which one to watch and how do they want to leverage these contents. The next is what type of delivery platforms. This is more about where your audience is, how they access your content and how they're using it, where they're at when they're reading it. What are the devices and the technologies that they would leverage that would get them most engaged with your content. The next thing that you want to keep in contact with is the features. As you look at your audience and you look at your content as well as the platform, the features are going to start showing up, and you're going to start seeing that there are essential features that you're going to want to offer to your users. This could be either from their own point of view as well as from your organization's point of view. They may want to have features that they can take notes and store articles so that they can refer back to them later on. For your own organization, you may want to allow your users to provide ratings and to interact with the content, creating more of a community and getting people involved with discussing, which will provide you feedback as to what content really works and what they're looking at.